Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome. Today is Friday, February the 13th, a day that has been long misunderstood. And I gotta tell you, I have always loved Friday the 13th, ever since I was a little girl. Now, I always thought that was because I'm a little bit of this defiant kind of personality, like tell me something is this way or tell me I can't do something and I'll show you I can. And when people always said Friday the 13th was unlucky and that the number 13 was unlucky, I always challenged that. I was always like, nope, feels lucky to me. And I always thought that was a little bit because I'm a little bit of a dick. But maybe my soul remembered something. All right, let's get into what I've discovered today. Historically, both Friday and the number 13 were considered sacred. Friday was associated with goodness, energy, love, fertility, and creation. And the number 13 reflects the 13 lunar cycles in the year, symbolizing transformation, renewal, and rhythms of life. So instead of being seen as a day of bad luck, Friday the 13th was once honored as a powerful alignment day connected to feminine wisdom and lunar spiritual cycles. This particular Friday the 13th carries an additional layer of meaning and energy because Saturn is shifting from Pisces into Aries. Now, I'm not an astrologist at all. I am just baby learning things. I'm in the early stages of learning about astrology, but a couple of the content creators that I watch on a regular basis were talking about it, and so I did a little bit more research. So here is a little brief summary of how I understand what this energy means. So Saturn in Pisces invited emotional healing, spiritual processing, releasing old patterns, and deep inner reflection. And as Saturn is now moving into Aries, the collective energy begins to shift towards courage, action, and self-leadership. This message is simple. You have done the healing, and now you begin moving forward. And I got to tell you, this is exactly the energy that I'm feeling. This is exactly where I feel like my life is in this moment. So it just feels extra special. The energy is just flowing today, and I'm excited for it. I'm here for it, and I want to embody as much of it as I can. So, of course, I'm going to invite you now to come along with me and do a ritual that is designed to help you and me consciously step out of hesitation and into aligned action. So this is a sacred shift ritual. This is moving from delay to action. Now, for this ritual, you're going to need a candle. Any color will do, but right now, red and black seem to be the color energy that might be a little bit more symbolically aligned with the energy that's happening. But again, remember, you use what you have and that works. It's all about setting intention. You're also going to need a journal or a piece of paper and a pen and a quiet space. All right, let's begin. I always like to start by saying, get yourself comfortable. Take in a grounding deep breath, inhaling deeply through your nose and exhaling slowly and slightly longer through your mouth. Allowing your body to settle. Then you're going to take your journal or your piece of paper, and at the top of the page, you are going to write, "What am I done delaying?" And you're going to pause for a moment, and you are going to allow the answer to arise to you naturally. It's normally the first one you hear. And you only need one. You're asking for only one thing, not a list, just one thing that you are done delaying. right, once you have your one word, you're going to go ahead and you're going to light your candle. You're going to take what you've written and you're going to look at your candle. You're just going to take a couple moments to focus, get yourself centered. And then you're going to say, I am done delaying whatever you're done delaying. I am done delaying success. And then you're going to spend the next 5 to 10 minutes or whatever time frame feels right and comfortable for you. And you're just going to sit with yourself. You're going to sit in stillness. As you breathe, I want you to imagine every version of you that has ever hesitated. Every version of you that ever waited for permission or waited for clarity to come before acting, or waiting for a sign before you move forward. I want you to see these versions of yourself, different ages, different situations, different circumstances, different environments, different stages of life. Just allow the image of these versions of you that waited, that paused, that shrunk away, that hesitated, that stopped and looked for safety first. See them in your mind's eye. I invite you now to take a step back and observe from a distance. See the varying versions of yourself. And now, I want you to stop and notice your current self that has stepped back, that is observing from a distance. I want you to embrace that version of you right now. Notice how you're stepped back and you're in peace. Notice how you're calm, standing steady and firm, observing, not getting caught up in the chaos, the what ifs, the emotions, just quietly, calmly, gently observing all the versions of yourself that have ever hesitated, that have stalled, that have waited for permission. Notice how it feels to be in your current body, observing the others. I invite you to stay with this image for as long as it feels. Embody the energy, the stillness, the confidence, the safety, the support, the security. Let those embrace, let those land in your body softly and gently. And then when you are ready, I invite you to return back to this space. Bring your attention back to your written note. And then you're going to take the written note. You're going to fold it once towards yourself, bringing that energy towards you and holding it. And then you're going to take the piece of paper and you're going to hold it above your flame at a safe distance. And you're going to say, I choose action over delay. I move forward from this cycle. I take the steps necessary. So let's say that 2 more times. I choose action over delay. I move forward from this cycle. I take the steps necessary. I choose action over delay. I move forward from this cycle. I take the steps necessary to take. And then if it's safe to do so, you can go ahead and you can gently burn the paper using your candle, or you could tear it into small pieces. But I want you to find a way to release it. The release symbolizes the closing of the delayed cycle. So I'm going to go ahead and burn mine. Burning is my preferred method of release. And I am just going to let that cycle go back to Source and let Source handle it on my behalf. You're going to take a final deep breath in, anchoring in that decision that you have made, and a gentle release out. There you have it, my friends. That is the sacred shift ritual that I am doing in honor of the energy that is moving through the collective today with Friday the 13th and also with Saturn moving from Pisces into Aries. So I'm excited. I'm excited that this next chapter is all about shifting into courage, action, and self-leadership, that the healing is done, that we are in the final days of the shedding of the year of the snake and moving into the fire horse energy. I feel it, and I'm grateful for it. I'm excited for it, and I am so, so deeply honored to be able to share what I'm learning with you all as I learn it and to do these practices with you. So thank you so much for the opportunity, and I appreciate your love and support. And I wish you a very blessed and lucky Friday the 13th.